Okay, this video is extremely important. Bear with me. Keep in mind they're changing my voice. So I'm a brain-searching son, so you know you can take me seriously. I'm targeted here in California for things that are perhaps hard to believe. I'll put some links to some playlists in the description. These attacks that we're seeing in the news, the most pronounced ones, when a lot of people are getting hurt, they're always connected to the psychological operation against me. It has to do with a lot of things that people don't want to admit in popular culture, but everyone basically knows are true. For example, the occult. I've recently made a video about Marissa DeNapoli murder here in Morgan Hill, California, and I've shown definitively that there's a pattern that's taking place here. There's wordplay in the names, right? Grand Traverse County. To traverse, I brought it up recently when I was talking about that there's a pattern in these killings. And I brought up how the wings symbolize traversing in the spiritual realm, the wings of angels, what have you. Traversing from the spiritual realm, from heaven, what have you, to earth and the earthly realm. Right? My kingdom is not of this world, as they say. So, right now they're fuming me and they're poisoning me because they don't want you to understand the information that I have to present. Reporting this was Fox 2 Detroit. And Detroit is a very black town. And they're also controlling my video recommendations to make it so that the pattern appears. This is textbook occult stuff, and there are tens of millions of occultists in America, for those of you who don't know. Do your research. There's gangs in the occult. Biker gangs are into the occult. Corporations. Okay, there are secret societies, cults. The government basically speaks in occult languages to criminals and to society, and they're run by fraternities like the Freemasons and on and on and on that deal in the occult. I've been talking about the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. Also, the word traverse is a play on words for art verse. The suspect, his name was Guile. And I've been talking about, again, the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. And Guile is a character in Street Fighter 2, which is basically a video game basically about martial arts and how it pertains to street fighting, what have you. If you look at my Marissa DeNapoli and Mellow Bucks playlist, it's very simple why I made the playlist. The word Marissa is a play on words for Maria's, and the word mellow, in the name Mellow Bucks, has the word mellow in it. So you have Maria Mellow, and I've proven all kinds of wordplay. Maria Mellow is a female who broke my heart in high school when I went to high school here in Morgan Hill, California, when I was 16 years old. Also, one of the reporters in this case, her name was Camilla Marie or Camilla Mary or something. And my ex-fiancée name was Mary Kate. Maria Mellow broke my heart, right? Maria and Mary, right? And I brought up how I used to live in South San Jose. And my roommate there, one of our roommates there, okay, her name was Camille. So there's things that are connected in a very definitive manner. And the government analysts who are targeting me, some of the people who are targeting me, they've admitted that they believe firmly, they have no doubt in their mind, their words they used were they have no doubt that these stabbings are connected to the killings that I bring up in the Marissa and Mellow Bucks playlist. So click the links in my comments, like the video, subscribe, get the message out. They're suppressing these videos, and there probably won't be many people watching these videos as a result. But it's good for me to make these videos. It's good for me to try to get this message out there. And I have bumper stickers, and I go out every day trying to get various messages out. And I'm doing a good job getting my messages out through a psychological operation that's designed to suppress things. Now, see my Proof I'm Christ playlist, and you'll see that I'm right. Okay, really quickly, it's important to note that the playlists are on my other channel, my Persecuted by Racist channel. You should be able to see the name of the channel on the screen. Okay. And the link is in the description. And if the channel doesn't pop up, it's because they're suppressing my channel, so the link will take you there as well if you can't get to that that way. So obviously the major story here is that I'm Christ, and that Christ is the top martial artist, not the white fairy, white oppressor image that you're used to seeing. And I'm not saying that all white people are evil, but white people who, and Jews and LGBT people who want to lie to you about who the ideal person is are very, very evil. Very evil. That's pure evil. Because it confuses people about who to date, right? Obviously somebody who's more like a heterosexual, morally precise, very masculine, very serious, righteous, and graceful, and pure, and disciplined, and wise, and insightful. Top martial artist, who's the top martial artist ever possible, which is me, is greater than somebody who's like some kind of fairy guy, looks like some kind of maybe Nordic Jewish person with long hair, some kind of hippie, some kind of fairy, like their fairy depictions of angels, right? The word fairy and Luciferian and Pharisee are connected. Right? Proof, pro of martial arts. Martial is marital scrambled, and I, Christ, am the top martial artist ever possible, the bridegroom. The miracles are figurative. For those of you who be like, this guy thinks he's Jesus. I've proven in my Proof I'm Christ playlist that the miracles are figurative. So what makes more sense? To believe Jesus is some kind of fairy depiction? Okay, and all these hypocritical churches are clearly spitting mere propaganda. You know, it came out in the news that the government has a deal with many of these religious organizations to get them to support corrupt politicians in exchange for funding. Okay, taking blood money from the government for supporting blood money candidates. Okay, all this child molestation. What makes more sense? To follow those fairy lunatics and to believe their arguments, or to believe a brain surgeon's son. My father's a humanitarian, the top brain surgeon ever, and I'm the top martial artist ever, who has proven to you definitively with their own wordplay that yes, I'm Christ. In John 16, it says that Christ was speaking figuratively. It says this in John that Christ was speaking figuratively. You know, Christ is a character in the story about the water. And then by the water, he meant the Spirit. And by the yeast of the Pharisees, he meant the teaching of the Pharisees. But you think the cloud is literal? When a cloud is a collection of water. And I proved that masterfully with the last video on that playlist, that the water directly refers to the cloud. Okay, who has gathered up, the water? Who has wrapped up the water in the cloaks? Who holds the wind in his fist? Who has gathered up the wind with his hands? Right? Proverbs 30, verse 4. It's figurative. Who holds the wind in his fist, striking with divine passion, with the Spirit of God? Am I fuming them, or are they fuming me? Am I suppressing them, or are they suppressing me? You know them by their works. There are a bunch of people out there that all get all kinds of views on YouTube who claim to be persecuted. Why do I have 16,000 or so videos, and the vast majority of them are drastically suppressed? And all of them in recent years are suppressed. Watch how many views this video gets, for example. How could that be? Because them, the churches, the mosques, the synagogues, you name it, they're all cheating me out of my rightful place by getting you to pay them money to reinforce mere white, Jewish, and LGBT and token minority social norms, collaborating with gang members with no higher cause. Organized harassment campaigns are taking place. Organized cover-ups. How many of those people on the Epstein list were charged with child molestation? How many people during MK Ultra, which is cult Ram Scramble, were charged? How many of you see people connecting MK Ultra to the Rampart division? Cult Rampart. And to Mars, who's a deity of Western martial arts, whose name is Ram Scramble, who's said to rape Rhea, whose counterpart is Ops, which also connects to the deity Psyche. And Psyche together is Psyche Ops. And scrambled in that is the word cops. Do cops help run PSYOPs? You betcha. Does the military-industrial complex? Yes. Do your schools and governments? Okay, you know they lied to you, and you know they lied to you in an organized effort. You know that part of sociology is social control, social engineering. Social clubs who control who socializes with who, fraternities who control who fraternizes with who. To hear this video and to think that you shouldn't check out my playlist is insane. What are you, a fucking coward? Do you bend your kids over for the government? Or do you insist on what's right? Because at this point in human history, if you don't insist on what's right, you may as well be bending over your children for the government. It's been made clear to you with the churches, with the Epstein list, with the cults. The war on child molestation is like the war on drugs, and everyone knows it. The government are the main people, the governing class are the main people controlling child molestation. And child molestation rings. If you didn't know that, you're a dumbass.